Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to This Just In. Thank you for joining me today. In this video, I wanted to give you an update on NIO, go over the May deliveries, and then go over a really big catalyst that could help out NIO's expansion tremendously in the coming years. I also give you my NIO stock price prediction for the end of 2021. So let's jump right in. All right, guys, before we get started today, subscribe to the channel for me, hit that little bell so you get notified every time I post. There's also a link down in the description to my Patreon account. Come over and join the family, be part of the squad. Any beginners out there, if you, want to be a part of a community of a bunch of like-minded individuals that are constantly trying to help each other, it's a really great place. That was one of the main reasons I started this channel, because when I first started investing, there was really nobody there to help me except for a lot of YouTubers that I learned a tremendous amount from, and I wanted to be that person for someone else. You'll also get access to the private Discord where we talk stocks. You'll get links to 5 portfolios to see exactly what I invest into. Anytime I buy or sell a stock, up to the second I do it, I send out a notification so you can follow along. I also send out a lot of high value swing trade setups, or anytime I map a chart and it looks good, or I've got a watch list, really anything that can help us grow our portfolios. We've had a lot of really good plays lately that have been up a ton, since we sent them out. So if that's something you're interested in, come over and join us. We would love to have you. Day one squad, you guys know that I love you. Thank you so much for your support. Been sick the last couple of days, guys, so I haven't really been able to post like I normally do, but I'm feeling good now. I'm going to be back on it, and you're going to be getting some new videos every day, so let's kill it. But guys, let's get started. So today I wanted to go over NIO with you. I haven't made a video on NIO since way back when I first started this channel, so I wanted to give you an update because I do hold it. Now, XPEV is definitely my biggest holding when it comes to EV, stocks, but NIO is a very close second. I dollar cost average into both of them every single week. I also even dollar cost average into Tesla. So I do like NIO a lot. I think it's going to do very, very well. I just am a little bit more bullish on XPEV, which a lot of people probably think I'm crazy for that, but that's just kind of how I feel. So first thing we'll do is we'll take a look at the May deliveries from NIO. We'll take a look at the really big upcoming catalyst that came out for NIO's expansion. I'll kind of give you my thoughts on where I see it going. We'll take a look at the chart and we'll wrap it up. So first thing I want to look at, guys, is the May deliveries. So as you can see, their May deliveries actually fell a little bit in May by 5.5%. Playing into the semiconductor shortage, but it was still up 95.3% year over year. You guys can see here that they delivered 6,711 vehicles in May, up to 95% year over year, but down 5.5% from April deliveries of 7,102 vehicles. The deliveries consisted of 1,412 ES8s, the company's 6-seater and 7-seater flagship premium smart electric SUV, 3,107 ES6s, the company's 5-seater high-performance premium smart electric SUV, and 2,282 EC6s, the company's 5-seater premium smart electric coupe SUV. Guys, I've always said that I really like SUVs. I think they are growing rapidly across the world. Everybody wants to get into a little bit of a bigger vehicle, be a little bit higher off the ground, be a little bit safer, have more room, so SUVs is a big seller, big hot item in the vehicle industry. The other thing is, though, guys, is NIO's price point is much higher than XPEV's. Their average car is like 60 grand. XPEV's average car is like 30 grand. But NIO is coming out with, they have just announced that they're coming out with a $31,000 model, which could really give XPEV a run for their money. So we'll have to see what happens with that. But that is a very smart move on their part, in my opinion, because there's a heck of a lot more people that can afford a $30,000 car than can afford a $60,000 car. And then, as you guys can see here, the cumulative deliveries of the ES8, ES6, and EC6 reached 109,514 vehicles, and I believe that's year to date. I believe so. That might be overall. I'm not sure. You'll have to fact check me on that. I can't remember off the top of my head. In May, the company's vehicle delivery was adversely impacted for several days due to the volatility of semiconductor supply and certain logistical adjustments. Guys, like I've said in previous videos about XPEV does all of their own manufacturing. They've got their own in-house R&D team that focuses on all their technology. They're building out those 2 brand new facilities in Wuhan and another area of China. They're backed by the US government in that facility. NIO, unfortunately, still outsources its production, which does have its pros and cons, right? They didn't have to go through the growing pains of trying to figure out their own manufacturing, but at the same time, they're relying on other people, to make sure their quality's there, the production lines are met, all of these different things. I truly believe that if NIO is really going to take it to the next level, I think a big part of their success is going to be if they can bring manufacturing in a little bit tighter, to them, to where they have more control. But I may be wrong. There is a lot of companies out there, automotive companies, that outsource their production and do just fine. I just think that that's a pretty crucial thing. If they can bring production in-house, it could be very beneficial for them. Now, as you guys can see here, the company plans to accelerate the delivery in June to make up for the delays from May based on the current production and delivery plan. The company maintains and reiterates the delivery guidance of 21,000 to 22,000 vehicles in the second quarter of 2021. So, that's a lot of vehicles, guys. Obviously, they did have a down month by 5%. But I think overall, at the end of the year, it's going to be quarter over quarter and cumulatively. So I wouldn't sweat too much on that 5%. I do think the semiconductor shortage is easing pretty tremendously. And I think, in 6, 7, 8 months, it'll be a blimp of the past and we won't even remember it. A little shortage like that, it creates a lot of FUD in the market, but I don't see it as something that's detrimental, long term by any means. Okay, so now let's take a look at the catalyst, guys. So this is big. Like I've said again in other videos, expansion is key. We're not just investing in NIO and XPeng because we want them to be a Chinese company. We don't just want exposure to the Chinese market. We want exposure to the global market. Both of those companies are looking to expand nationwide, or worldwide, excuse me, even come into America at some point. But as you guys can see here, they announced that they received the European whole vehicle type approval for the NIO ES8. So they can now start expanding into Europe. Guys, XPeng did that already. They did that first before NIO. Just throwing that out there, not saying anything, just throwing that out there. They did expand into Norway, and they did start delivering out to Norway, quite a bit before that. The electric vehicle maker says the EWVTA certification marks an essential foundation for NIO's entry into Norway and the European market at large. Guys, China is the largest EV consumers, and then Europe and the US are the second and third, so very big expansion for them. They can get out into Europe, they can start expanding that way. That will help them tremendously. The one thing I will say, guys, is they actually are also putting up, I want to say, like 100 and something different battery swapping stations. That's one thing that I've said multiple times, guys. The battery swapping for NIO, in my opinion, is big for them. I mean, that's pretty hard to compete with because it creates reoccurring revenue. You pay for that as a reoccurring charge to have access to that battery swapping. They're going to have to build in that infrastructure in Europe as they scale, but that's a really big thing. I mean, you can come in, fully dead battery, swap it in 3 minutes, and then a fully charged battery gives you up to 435 miles, which is double the average of 181 miles for, standard EV vehicles. So those battery swap stations are very effective, very cool. If I had an EV, pulling up and just swapping the battery seems like the way I would want to do it versus having to pull into a spot, go in and shop while it charges for hours and hours. The other thing I will say, guys, is NIO is also compatible with XPeng's chargers. I think XPeng has like 1,140 or 1,150 charging stations across like 164 cities in China. So they are working together in that sense. But one of the big things that I am super bullish on, guys, is the battery as a service package for NIO. They currently have 226 swap stations, and then the autonomous driving as a service for NIO. I think that could be big for these guys. Like we talked about in the last XPeng video, XPeng's doing that. They just barely, were able to charge for their over-the-air update on the autonomous driving, the X Pilot, where no other EV company in China has been able to charge separately for that. When they do that, guys, that's big for reoccurring revenue because listen to essentially what they're doing is they recently partnered with a company called Mobileye, which is a company that is owned by Intel. Essentially, Mobileye has, built out a ton of autonomous driving, driving assistant technology for a lot of different auto companies across the nation. But what they're pretty much doing is they're helping NIO develop their full autonomous driving service, which is expected to launch in 2022. Pretty much, they're going to allow their customers to pay around $100 a month for the autonomous driving as a service. That autonomous driving as a service, again, creates reoccurring revenue because people pay $100, they get that, autonomous driving. They're going for full autonomous driving level 4, I believe, but they've already got over 105,000 cars on the road. The autonomous driving as a service is expected to bring in like an additional $130 million annually, and the revenue stream could be valued at upwards of 1.6 billion at inception. So that is a big upgrade to the top line, right off the top, just by adding that autonomous driving as a service. So big thing, guys, for both companies. They're doing nothing but expanding. They can continue to expand out into Europe, Norway, the United States. I think that you look out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, NIO and XPEV will be big companies doing big things, and the stock price will be multiples of where it is today. Obviously, there's a lot of unknown. Obviously, there's a lot of things that can go wrong. When you look back in the 1930s at all the auto companies that came out during the big auto craze, most of them failed. But I think NIO and XPEV are doing too good to, completely fail at this point. They both have cash on hand. They're not, neither of them are profitable yet. Neither of them are in free cash flow yet, but give it time and they will get there. They are looking to open that center in Norway in September of this year, and they plan to expand to 4 more areas in Norway by 2022, as well as have a full charging and swap power station, network in Norway. So a lot of cool things, guys. Let's take a look at the chart. So as you guys can see, NIO's has been performing really well lately. Again, same type of thing, came up here, started running just like a madman right after the pandemic in May 2020. Just think, if you would have bought NIO back in May 2020, you would have got it at $3, and then it ran clear up here. Did reach a high of $66.99. XPEV did get a little bit higher than that, up there around the $72 range. And then really started to have a big sell-off right there at the beginning of February, but has held support at this area of inflection where it has bottomed multiple different times. Did have its lowest candle close on May 13th. Since clear back here in October. So it got beat down pretty bad. I mean, that's a big retrace from top to bottom, or top to bottom right here. But ever since, May 13th, it has started to run really nicely, got up to a high of $47.25, has pulled back the last few days, but nonetheless, it did make a higher high over this pre-discernible swing high. It really needs to come back here, back test these moving averages or this $41 level to make a higher low before, run into the top of the range up here at 64. Guys, it even broke this pre-discernible high, and it really needs to get up here and break this high to get into a long-term sustainable uptrend. As you guys can see, though, we did get some, really nice positive momentum flowing into the stock. It is starting to wean a little bit with these last 2 sell-off days, but nothing to be concerned about. I think overall, it could even come back down here and retest this level at the, $34, $35 range, but I don't think it's going to do that. At the very least, I think it'll come down, retest the, hold support at the moving averages before advancing. That would be the ultimate situation. Guys, once it breaks this level right here, that like 45, 46, dollar range, I think the next place you're going to see it is up here at the $56 range rather quickly, because there's really not a ton of, resistance above that. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. This video is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not a licensed stockbroker. Always do your own research and due diligence. Don't just take my word for it. Come join us at the Patreon if you want to be part of the family, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.